First off, I want to thank the brave men and women who work behind the wall. I want to thank them on a national level because their job goes unrecognized.
How do they try to turn a guard?
Well, correctional officer. Sorry, I apologize. But correctional officer. How you guys doing today? It's Anthony Gangi, host of Tier Talk. I want to discuss something that kind of irks me a little bit, and I'm hoping that we as a community can do something about it. Again, it's not even just the community here on YouTube, but also the community we have on Facebook. A lot of different correctional groups out there. But you know, guys, when I started Tier Talk, I started as a show to kind of inform the public, yes, but also to educate us, because we definitely sometimes are not aware of what's happening within our profession and outside of local. I'm talking about more of a national concern, and sometimes these concerns set trends. So what happens in California could simply happen to us one day. So it's good for us to be aware. And then there was a lot of good training videos, because I felt at one point there just wasn't enough training being provided. So, you know, these good dialogues, these good videos came about just in an effort to fulfill a need, a gap. So in the process, guys, the channel was great because we have developed a very good community. And some people from the community aren't even in the profession. They're from the public, but just very interested in what we do. Maybe there's some connection they have, but they don't work in the profession. There's also a lot of people that follow my channel that want to be in this profession. That this is their choice. They're not settling for it. This is what they want to do. It's a career path. And that's like me. I choose to be in corrections. I did the academy and I knew at that point I'm staying. I didn't settle. I'm staying. And that makes me a little bit more confident. I've chose this path. So you have these individuals that are trying to enter the field and they're so energetic. They want to be in this profession. And you can see it in the comments I get or the emails. Guys, look at the comments on some of these videos. Some of these comments are from people dying to get into this profession, asking for advice, you know, especially when you get the videos on the interview process. And then when I email them or I message them back, this is their choice. They're not settling to be in corrections. They want to be in the profession. There's something about the profession that they like, and they want to kind of do what we do. They respect what we do. They understand the role we play and ultimately how we're connected into the law enforcement circle. And that's key. Now, what gets me upset is, now, by the way, guys, these people that want to be in this profession that don't settle, it's few and far between. So we need to embrace them. Because I'll tell you something, I could speak to a lot of staff that we have working in corrections right now who just like, well, I wanted to be this, but I couldn't get that, so I chose this. And it's like, I didn't ask for all that. You know, but the thing is, they try to justify themselves being in corrections as if corrections wasn't enough. It's like, I'm in corrections, but blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you're in corrections. Stand tall, be proud. It's a great profession. Anyway, so now you have these individuals who are getting ready to enter the profession or are starting their training, because as I said, some of these are older videos. So they've actually passed the interview process, and some of them are on their first or second year in the field. And they go there with this energy, and they're happy, and they're ready to kind of face this career head on. And these are people that we need. I mean, these are people that aren't even in the profession, that are looking at videos, trying to learn what they can, talking to our community. And we welcome them, and that's great. That's great, because that's kind of saying, hey, this is what we do. This is what family does, and it gives them a good sense of the family before they enter. And I think that's another motivator for them to come into the profession. But then they get stuck with these people that train them. And they're disenfranchised. They hate the profession or whatever it is. Maybe they had a bad incident or whatever the case may be. But either way, they're generalizing it, I'm sure. Like sometimes you can have an interaction with one individual and then generalize that as, you know, it's not the individual, it's administration, or it's all of supervisors. Well, we know for a fact you're only having a problem with one. But they're taking these people who have energy, who want to be in this profession, and they're destroying their outlook. They're destroying their want to be in this field. And when we do that to people early on, who are kind of testing the waters, even though they really want to be in the profession, they're still testing the waters, we're going to lose people. I have an email right now. I won't go into specifics, but I do have an email right now that was sent my way Saturday or Sunday. It was over the weekend, maybe Sunday. I think it was yesterday. where the person left after 6 months. And when he sent me the email, he talked about how energetic he is. And the funny thing is, he still follows my videos. So he still has that thirst to be in the profession, because he's not in the profession right now. He left. But he still watches the videos. But he sent me an email because he said, Gange, I left the profession because within the first few months, everybody I spoke to just, in general, bastardized the profession. So here he is, wanting to be in this profession, wanting to do the right thing. But then right off the bat, you have people overwhelming him with negativity, destroying his outlook on the profession. And just it got to the point where he felt like he was an outcast. Because here's everybody's miserable and he loves it, and he just didn't feel the proper support. So he stepped away. And I don't fault him. I don't, because it's the beginning of his career. You know, it's a choice. Maybe he thought, like, if I stayed later on, I'd be stuck and I'm not going to want to move. So why he's at the beginning, saw all this negativity, and he said, you know what, maybe this profession isn't for me. And the reason why I kind of understand where he's coming from is, here we do a channel and we speak positive about this profession. We promote the profession in a positive light. We want people to join. We want good people. We want that energetic person, the person that wants to be here. But then he goes into the profession, and like he said, reality hits him. He still agrees with our community, still agrees with the videos we do, but then he's wondering, why are we so few and far between? And then I'm still like, wow, I don't have an answer for that. Because I would assume there should be more of us. But maybe there's not. Or maybe in this one facility, it just happens to be a bunch of disgruntled individuals. But here we are, we're doing these videos, we have a great community, and part of that community now has been inviting the new. You know, we need people in this profession that want to be in this profession. And we go through all this hard work, we do the videos, we put up those comments that are very long. I mean, well-written, very long statements that pretty much cover whatever has to be covered to educate, to bring people in, to build a love for this profession. But it just takes one moment when the person crosses in and he sees that everybody else around them is negative, and they begin to question the importance of what we do and is it worth it. And that bothers me. That really bothers me. You know what's funny, guys? Part of another reason why I started doing these videos is because we're very divided in corrections. And here we are fighting for the recognition from the outside, but the key here is that we also have to connect on the inside. We have to be that community. And we do have some division, especially sometimes between custody and civilian staff. And I was always making an effort to, you know, move as one, because we need each other. But we have also some disgruntled individuals in there that are really ruining our chances of getting good people, qualified people that I would want to walk on a tier with. You know, I mean, guys, yeah, there's other concerns. I know the pay, I know the benefits, but these people know all that and they still want to come into this profession. There's a different type of motivation for them, and those are the people we want to embrace. You don't want to embrace somebody who only wants to be in this profession for the money. You don't want to embrace somebody that only wants to be in this profession for the external benefits. You want to embrace the people that want to be in this profession because they feel it's their calling. And some of these people that have commented or emailed, this is their calling. This is what they want to do. However they justify it. Some of them come from family members who have worked in corrections for many years. But that negativity is ruining it. And now you're getting people with this good motivation and we're destroying it. One of the things I highlight to get people into this profession is the family that we have. I think, unfortunately, I know we have other concerns, but I think that that family bond that we have is a great motivator for people to want to come into this profession, or in some cases to want to stay in this profession. Because I still believe we have a very good, tight family. It's one of my motivators. It's one of my motivations. So the last thing I want to do is ruin that part of it. I want people to appreciate that, because I think that's pretty much the only main motivation we have. You know, and then obviously the service that we provide to the public. But what helps me go through the job each day is knowing that someone has my back. And there's something about that. I just can't explain it, but there's something about that. But I just want people to be aware of what they're doing to potential great people to have in this profession. We're destroying them. And there's good people out there that actually want to be in this profession and do the right thing. And as soon as they come in the door, we give them this trainer who's just very disenfranchised and full of negativity. And what they do is all the hard work that we've put in, they destroy it. We create these communities for the positive outlook, and the person works with one person for one day and just, it destroys it. I know people may argue against what I'm saying, but the key is, guys, is that we want the right people. These are people that are motivated to be in there for the right reasons. It's not about money or pay, which don't get me wrong, that's important. I'm not saying that. But I don't want that to be someone's only motivator. Because I'm going to tell you something, when shit hits the fan, that's not the motivation that's going to keep that person next to you. The motivation is that want to do the right thing, that want to stand by their brother and sister. So, for those that are supervisors, be careful who you put that's training our future officers or future civilian staff members. There's a hint of negativity. Maybe they're not fit to be a trainer. Sad to say, but it's true. We're making all this hard work to get people in the profession. And then it gets to the point that maybe the people that love that profession, the people like us who are dedicated to this channel, who respond and comment, maybe we're the minority. And at the end of the day, the majority are really disgruntled. But at the end of but the other concern is that's why we create this channel. People that are disgruntled don't make an effort to step out. It's us. But it's the people that love this profession so much that go outside of the shadows and try to bring love back in, recognition back in. And the last thing we want is for all our hard work, because we take slow steps forward. But when people do that negativity, it's a giant leap backwards, and then we just have to constantly catch up, kind of even ground. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of hard work, so I appreciate that from everyone, just the constant community, the videos. But let's make sure we're careful who's doing our training. And if you're training yourself, whatever personal issues you have with the job, that's you. And I'm sure many people may share it. But there are some good people there that we may have enter this profession that we need. And we're going to disenfranchise them right at the beginning. If there's a concern, let them see that concern. It will develop in time. But in the meantime, you need to show them how important this profession is right at the get-go. That initial impression is so powerful. The initial impression defines every other interaction after it. You got to realize that. The initial step that someone takes in the profession, that's what's going to define how they see the profession subsequently. So if you started off on a negative foot, everything else, even positive, it's going to be twisted into something negative because the initial impression was not positive. So at least set them off on the right direction. Remind them of how important the service we do. Remind them how important that brotherhood and sisterhood is. Remind them how important our service to the public is. Remind them how important of what we do. Let them know that. Let them understand the importance of our service. And then whatever concerns we have later on, they'll find out. But the key is that initial impression. Let them see that you respect the service that we provide. That it's a needed service. And that respect should obviously be given from the outside, and that's the fight that we have. But it does start from the inside first, and we're losing good people. The person that sent me that email, he wanted this job for the right reasons. He came from a family of correctional officers. His motivation wasn't about the money. This was just a job he always wanted since he was a kid, because his family told him how important this profession was. And then he has a wake-up call, and it took him into a whole nother direction. And that's upsetting, because not only did his family remind him of the good of this profession, so did we. Our hard work in this community, the interactions that we have, that he was involved in many of them. He was involved in many of those interactions. He knows some of us by name. So this is a person that was heavily invested in this channel, which makes me think that this person would have been heavily invested in this career. He was heavily invested in our community. And it just breaks my heart. It does. Because it makes it look like that we live in this fantasy world. And I know that's not the case. I just think on that day and time, he was around the wrong people, especially around the wrong trainer. I wish I could have trained him. I wish you guys on this channel could have trained him. Because if that's the case, he would have been finishing his first year and not leaving after 6 months. And again, I know he made the choice to leave, but think about it from his perspective. It's the beginning of his career, surrounded by a bunch of negativity. I wait any longer, I'm going to be stuck. So I'm going to jump out now because it's not what I thought it was. Can't get mad at him for that. Just wonder what your thoughts are. As always, guys, the show is Tier Talk. If you haven't, please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. That bell is going to notify you every time I post a video. Stay safe.